Welcome everybody to my next update on my action RPG gate. So I have a lot to show in this update, including the new sprite sheets for the items equipped on the character, the new character animations and stuff, the new gate UI, and also the item filter work that is still work in progress. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the character animations and the items equipped on the character. Okay, so I'm gonna go real quick over the new sprite sheets for the equipable items on the new character model. Uh, So I mentioned this on my previous video real quick, that I was gonna make a rework on the character. You can see now that the character is slightly bigger. It also has hands now. So the previous one didn't have hands and it was smaller. So it was very difficult to animate new stuff on it. It was difficult to convey the sense of what the character was actually doing, if it was casting something or moving or whatnot. Also, all the equipable items were static, so they only had 2 frames, so it was impossible to twist them or turn them around or whatever. So I decided to go with this character with hands. Now I'm gonna showcase you real quick the equipable items on the character. So just like before, all of these armors are gonna be visible on the character, right? So every single one of these things that you see on screen is gonna, all of these items, they're gonna have a custom image here on the equipped item. The same is true for the helmets. So all of these helmets, if you equip them, they're gonna reflect the change on the character. Now the difference from the previous system is that I added around 6 or 7 frames to each one of these helmets that you see here. So you can see all of them have different things. So I added new frames for every single one of these, which means now I can animate them better. So let me show you that real quick. So here's the list of all the weapon bases on the game, and it's not complete. So every single one of these weapons has a different set of animations, like I mentioned before, depending on the weapon that you're wielding. Right? If you're wielding this, a bow is gonna be different for when you're wielding like a crossbow, for example. You can see. The same is true for any of these other weapon types here. Now let me show you the animations real quick. So let me equip this sword. So I have 2 skills here, just to showcase the new animations. So this is the spinning skill. You can see how the head and the helmet is actually matching the spinning. That's because I made sure to add frames for back animations and 45-degree animations for the helmets, as well as for this jumping attack. You can see that the helmet actually, rotates. So that's just the showcase of one of the helmets, but the same is true for each one of these. So it doesn't matter which one you equip, it's gonna animate properly. I also mentioned the weapons. Now let me show you the singular weapons or singular items. So the singular items are the red ones. So these ones that you see here. So these ones are like the legendary, quote unquote, that you see in many other action RPGs. So this axe, for example, you can see that it has a blood effect. I added a system that allows me to add either animations or in combinations with custom effects to each one of these items. So this axe, for example, is dripping blood, but I could have others like this sword, this two-handed sword. You can see that this one is animated. It has a custom animation here. I also have this helmet, which has this electricity around it. This is just visual, but you can see that this allows me to create more unique and more exciting looking singular items. So to make them, just look more cool on the character. So that's with the singular items. Now I think this is everything that has to do with the character. Of course, I cannot show everything. I want to keep it as short as possible. So let's get moving on to the next thing that I work on after I finish this, which is the gate UI and the new dungeon system and the gates and stuff. And then I'm gonna finish with the filters. So let's get into that. Okay, so this next system is the gate UI. So I'm currently in the process of reworking this. But previously, you could only enter random dungeons of a level that you selected, or you could use these gates, which are basically the itemized dungeons, to enter. Now I made it so that the player can actually customize their experience in the dungeons a little bit better, while also adding some kind of target farming, so the player can actually farm for certain items and stuff. I felt that was necessary because since this is the thing that you're gonna be doing the most, you need some kind of target farming, some kind of objective, basically. So what I did is I'm gonna add a series of objectives to all of these gates. When you complete any of these gates objectives, you're gonna get this new currency called favor, and you can see here. So you can do three things now on the gateway. You can open a new random dungeon, which is just randomized and has random loot inside of any level, up to the level of the character. You can slot gates, which are the itemized dungeons with customized modifiers like this, and open that gate and run it just like before. But I added this new option that allows you to find new gates spending this favor. So for example, if I find a gate here, you can see that it generates a new gate with a custom objective. So this one you need to eliminate a certain monster inside the dungeon. When you do, it's gonna grant you a reward. You can see here that this one grants an unusual weapon. You can also store up to a different amount of them here. Every time you complete an objective, this bar is gonna fill. And when this bar fills, you're gonna be able to run this gate, right? So you can enter the gate, just like any dungeon, and you can complete the objective to get the reward. Now, I added this system this way because I want the player to have some kind of a way to actually target rewards. So I also added this favorite system. Now you can see that you have these slots. These slots unlock with level. So right now they are unlocked, but they're gonna unlock with levels. Here you can select the favorite gate that you want to appear. So these are the only three that I have so far. So for example, if you prefer bosses, you can select boss gates in all of these. And in item rewards, these are basically the type of rewards that you can get. So let's say you are farming for a specific amulet. You can select amulet in all of these. And now when you roll new gates, the likelihood of rolling boss gates with amulet rewards is greatly increased. I believe 3 times for each one that you selected. So you can see here that I roll a lot of these, a lot of amulets, and a lot of boss gates because of that favorite system. You can also remove them if you don't like the what you rolled. Right. So this is just a way to target farm certain items. Now, obviously, I may change the odds and all that, but you can see the idea here. You can open any of these. So you can roll a couple of these, leave them here, make run some random dungeons or some itemized gates, and then come back when the bars are filled, and you can run your discoveries. Is what I call them for now. You can run them and just get your reward. So let me know what you think about this system, way to target farm certain items. It's not completely deterministic, of course. You can always get, like here, you can always get other type of rewards and stuff, but it's still a lot better and it's still a way to target farm stuff. Now you can see here that I have a bounty system as well. Uh, I'm currently working on how I'm gonna implement this, but it's gonna be something similar, something to target farm even further. As well as a new system for the gates. So you can see when I slot something here, this disappears. That's because something is gonna go here for the gates, something more custom that allows you to change different stuff, like encounters, stuff like that. But this is what I have for now in this system. So let's move on to the filter one, which is the last thing that I still not finished, but I'm working on it. But I really want to show this because it's really cool. So let's get into it. Okay, so the last feature that which is still work in progress is the item filters. So item filters is, in my opinion, a feature that every action RPG needs. Even if it's very simple filter, it needs it. So in my game, you're able to generate your own item filters. They're gonna be saved on your save data folder as a JSON file, so you can customize them in game or outside of the game. So these filters are gonna allow you to show or hide different items that you drop, and also customize them, like the color and stuff. This is necessary, especially in my game, because this is a pixel art game. at 640 by 360 resolution by default, which means that I don't have much space on screen. So hiding items when you drop so many items is necessary. Otherwise, your screen is gonna be cluttered. So let's get into the item filter system that I have now. So this is the system. Here you can create new filters. Here's the list of all the filters here. Now I took inspiration from Last Epoch, which is another action RPG that I played recently. So in Last Epoch, you have this rule system which allows you to customize the filter in game. It's a very simple system to understand. What it does is that it runs the rules from the top down. So the rule at the top is gonna have priority. So whatever you put in the rules is gonna run, and then if it meets the rule, it's gonna stop there and it's gonna ignore the rest of the rules, right? So for example, let's take a look at this filter that I made, which is I'm making the default filter. So if I edit this rule, you can see that I can customize it even further. I can say show me these items or hide them. I can say show these items. Now I can say what type of item. Here you can select every single base on the game. So for example, in this case, I want to show all of them, right? Every single base of these types. And then I can add a condition here, right? So I added a condition of rarity. So which rarities you want to show? Singular, which is the legendary red status. I can customize the label color here and the text color. Also, I can add array, like a array thing. I'm gonna add new sounds here, like new sound effects. No sound, the sound that the item makes by default, or I can add new sounds here. The size of the label, and then you can add the rule. So what's gonna happen is gonna show all of the items of these types, so every single item of singular rarity with this. And once this is met, all of the rules after this are gonna be ignored. But if it doesn't meet it, it's gonna continue with the next rule. So for example, this rule is showing these consumables here. You can see here. This is showing these consumables with this customization. And then this next rule is showing a different set of consumables with a different label color. So you can see here that this system is very simple, but it's very customizable, just having those two things. I'm just missing the level one, so you can select the level bracket. And this should be enough to actually make a decent filter. So I'm working currently on the default filter that the player is gonna see, but you're gonna be able to copy it and actually modify it if you want. So for example, if you are making a mage, so you're making a caster, you can actually come here and select all of the all of the ones and all the staves, right, of whatever base types you want, and you can filter them to show a different color with a different text and all this, and add a custom sound so you actually know when something like this is dropping, and you can hide all of the other types so you don't see any melee weapons or anything. So you can see how powerful this can be. You can edit this in game and it's gonna reflect in game. Now I'm still working on that, so like I said, it's not finished. But you can see, for example, this gate here. I customized the label and the text. This is way too large, of course. I'm working on that, but you can see that the label and the color is working. It's filtering the items, so if you drop common items like this, you can see they're not showing. They're not showing the label. That's because I filtered them. But if I hold Alt, holding Alt shows all the items, so you can still pick them up. But yeah, this is just the example of the item filters. Let me know what you think. I'm very proud of the system. It took me like 3 days. So today after the video, I'm gonna continue with this, and then I'm gonna probably finish tomorrow. So yeah, let me know what you think. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe and like. Give me your ideas and your feedback. And see you in the next video in 2 weeks. Take care.